Training the mind to respond rather than react is a transformative practice that requires patience, self-awareness, and conscious effort. In daily life, people encounter various situations that trigger emotional responses, and often these reactions are impulsive, driven by emotions such as anger, fear, frustration, or even excitement. While reactions are instinctive and immediate, responses are deliberate and thoughtful. The ability to choose how to act in a given moment can significantly impact relationships, decision-making, and overall well-being. Developing this skill is not about suppressing emotions, but about managing them in a way that aligns with one's values and long-term goals. When a person reacts to a situation, they often do so without thinking. The reaction is automatic, driven by subconscious programming that has been reinforced over time. For example, if someone criticizes a person, their immediate reaction may be to defend themselves, argue, or retaliate with their own criticism. This reaction may provide temporary relief, but it can also escalate conflict and create unnecessary tension. On the other hand, if the person chooses to respond rather than react, they take a moment to process the criticism, assess its validity, and decide the most constructive way to handle it. Instead of reacting defensively, they might ask for clarification, acknowledge valid points, or express their perspective calmly. This approach not only diffuses tension, but also fosters better communication and understanding. The distinction between reacting and responding lies in the ability to create space between a stimulus and one's action. This space allows for reflection, assessment, and intentional choice. The human brain is wired with a fight or flight response, which is designed for survival in dangerous situations. However, in modern life, most challenges do not require an immediate fight or flight reaction. The ability to override this instinct and engage the rational part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, helps in making better decisions. Developing this skill involves training the mind to pause before taking action, which can be achieved through mindfulness and self-regulation techniques. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in shifting from reaction to response. By cultivating awareness of one's thoughts and emotions, individuals can recognize their triggers and patterns of behavior. When a person becomes mindful of their emotional state, they can observe their reactions without immediately acting on them. For example, if someone feels anger rising in a heated discussion, mindfulness allows them to acknowledge the anger without being consumed by it. Instead of yelling or saying something regrettable, they can choose to take a deep breath, collect their thoughts, and express themselves more constructively. This shift in approach leads to healthier interactions and minimizes unnecessary conflict. Another important aspect of training the mind is emotional regulation. Emotions are powerful and they influence behavior in profound ways. However, allowing emotions to dictate actions without control can lead to regretful decisions. Learning to regulate emotions involves understanding their source, acknowledging them without suppression, and channeling them effectively. This process requires self-reflection and a commitment to personal growth. A person who practices emotional regulation will recognize when they are feeling overwhelmed and take steps to calm themselves before responding. Techniques such as deep breathing, counting to 10, or even stepping away from a situation temporarily can create the necessary space to respond more thoughtfully. Perspective is also a key factor in determining whether one reacts or responds. Often, people react impulsively because they view situations from a narrow or emotionally charged perspective. Expanding one's perspective allows for a more objective assessment of events. For instance, if a coworker makes a dismissive comment in a meeting, an immediate reaction might be frustration or resentment. However, by stepping back and considering possible explanations, such as the coworker having a stressful day or miscommunicating unintentionally, one can respond with greater understanding. This ability to shift perspective reduces unnecessary stress and promotes more rational decision-making. Practicing self-discipline is another essential component of training the mind. Self-discipline involves exercising control over impulses and choosing responses that align with long-term goals. When faced with provocation, a disciplined individual can resist the urge to react emotionally and instead choose a response that serves their best interests. Building self-discipline requires practice and conscious effort. Small actions, such as pausing before replying to a text message, taking a moment to reflect before responding to criticism, or resisting the temptation to argue impulsively, help strengthen this skill over time. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate a response-oriented mindset is through self-inquiry. Asking oneself questions before acting can help in making better decisions. Questions such as, is this reaction helpful? Will I regret this later? What is the best way to handle this situation? And what outcome do I want to achieve? Encourage thoughtful responses. This practice shifts the focus from emotional impulses to rational thinking, leading to more constructive outcomes. Training the mind to respond instead of react also contributes to inner peace and emotional stability. When people react impulsively, they often experience regret, guilt, or additional stress. In contrast, responding thoughtfully allows for greater control over emotions and reduces unnecessary turmoil. Over time, this approach fosters resilience, helping individuals navigate challenges with confidence and composure. Ultimately, shifting from reaction to response is a journey that requires practice and commitment. It involves developing awareness, regulating emotions, shifting perspectives, and cultivating self-discipline. The benefits of this shift extend beyond personal well-being, as it also enhances relationships, communication, and decision-making. By consciously choosing responses over reactions, individuals can create a more balanced, fulfilling, and harmonious life. Mindfulness is one of the most powerful tools for training the mind to respond rather than react. It involves cultivating a state of awareness where one observes thoughts, emotions, and external events without immediate judgment or impulsive action. By practicing mindfulness consistently, individuals can create a gap between a stimulus and their reaction, allowing them to choose a more thoughtful and appropriate response. This practice is particularly valuable in managing stress, improving emotional intelligence, and fostering better relationships. Instead of being controlled by emotions, a mindful individual learns to navigate situations with clarity and composure. Reactions often stem from deeply ingrained habits and automatic responses programmed into the subconscious mind. When faced with a challenging situation, the brain tends to default to familiar patterns, many of which are impulsive and emotionally driven. For example, if someone criticizes a person's work, their habitual reaction might be defensiveness, anger, or frustration. These reactions may serve as temporary relief, but often lead to further tension and conflict. Mindfulness helps break these automatic patterns by bringing attention to the present moment. When people are mindful, they become aware of their emotions as they arise, allowing them to pause and make conscious choices about how to respond. A fundamental aspect of mindfulness is learning to observe emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. Emotions are natural responses to stimuli, but they do not have to dictate actions. Many people struggle with emotional reactivity because they identify too closely with their feelings. When they feel angry, they believe they must act on that anger immediately. However, mindfulness teaches that emotions are transient experiences that do not require immediate action. By simply noticing emotions, labeling them, and allowing them to pass, individuals gain greater control over their responses. This practice reduces impulsive behavior and helps cultivate a more balanced and thoughtful approach to challenges. Breathing techniques play a crucial role in mindfulness and response training. When faced with a stressful situation, the body's fight or flight response is activated, leading to rapid breathing, increased heart rate, and heightened stress levels. Taking slow, deep breaths helps counteract this physiological reaction by calming the nervous system. A simple practice such as inhaling deeply for 4 seconds, holding the breath for 4 seconds, and exhaling for 4 seconds can create a sense of calm and clarity. This small pause allows the mind to shift from an emotional reaction to a more thoughtful response. Over time, incorporating mindful breathing into daily life helps individuals stay grounded, even in high-pressure situations. Meditation is another effective method for developing mindfulness and training the mind to respond rather than react. Meditation involves setting aside time to focus on the breath, sensations, or thoughts in a non-judgmental manner. Regular meditation strengthens the brain's ability to observe rather than immediately react, making it easier to remain composed in difficult situations. Studies have shown that consistent meditation practice enhances emotional regulation, reduces stress, and improves overall well-being. Even a few minutes of daily meditation can lead to noticeable changes in how one handles challenges and conflicts. Self-reflection is an important component of mindfulness that aids in developing a response-oriented mindset. Taking time to reflect on past reactions and identifying emotional triggers can help individuals understand their behavioral pattern. For example, if a person notices that they frequently react with irritation when criticized, they can explore the underlying reasons for this pattern. Are they afraid of failure? Do they associate criticism with rejection? By gaining insight into their triggers, individuals can work toward changing their responses. Journaling, therapy, or simply engaging in quiet contemplation are effective ways to develop self-awareness and improve emotional control. Another benefit of mindfulness is its impact on communication. Many conflicts arise from reactive speech, responding with anger, sarcasm, or defensiveness before fully understanding a situation. Practicing mindful communication involves listening attentively, pausing before speaking, and choosing words carefully. Before responding to a difficult conversation, taking a brief moment to consider what is being said and formulating a calm, thoughtful reply can prevent misunderstandings and unnecessary arguments. Over time, mindful communication strengthens relationships and fosters mutual respect. Mindfulness also enhances empathy, which plays a significant role in responding rather than reacting. When individuals cultivate mindfulness, they become more attuned to the emotions and perspectives of others. Instead of reacting defensively in conflicts, they are more likely to consider the other person's feelings and motivations. This shift in perspective promotes patience and understanding, reducing the likelihood of heated arguments or regrettable actions. Empathy fosters deeper connections and helps create a more harmonious environment in personal and professional relationships. Incorporating mindfulness into daily routines does not require significant time or effort. Simple practices such as paying attention to sensations while eating, observing thoughts without attachment, or taking a mindful walk can strengthen awareness and presence. The key is consistency. Over time, mindfulness becomes a natural way of being, allowing individuals to navigate life with greater ease and emotional balance. When mindfulness becomes a habit, responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively becomes second nature. Training the mind to respond through mindfulness leads to numerous benefits, including improved emotional regulation, reduced emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in the ability to respond rather than react. It is the capacity to recognize, understand, and manage one's own emotions while also being aware of and influencing the emotions of others. People with high emotional intelligence are better equipped to handle conflicts, make rational decisions, and communicate effectively because they do not allow emotions to dictate their immediate actions. Instead of reacting impulsively to challenges, they take a step back, assess the situation, and choose a response that aligns with their values and long-term goals. Developing emotional intelligence requires practice, self-reflection, and a commitment to improving one's interactions with others. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence and a key factor in responding rather than reacting. When individuals are aware of their emotions, they can recognize when they are triggered and understand how those emotions influence their thoughts and behaviors. Without self-awareness, people may react without realizing why they feel a certain way, leading to impulsive decisions that they later regret. For example, if someone receives negative feedback at work, their initial reaction might be frustration or defensiveness. However, a person with strong self-awareness will take a moment to acknowledge their emotions and assess whether the feedback is constructive. Instead of reacting emotionally, they can respond with curiosity by asking clarifying questions or seeking ways to improve. Self-regulation is another essential aspect of emotional intelligence that helps in managing reactions. It involves controlling emotional impulses and choosing appropriate responses based on logic and reasoning. People who struggle with self-regulation often let their emotions control them, leading to angry outbursts, rash decisions, or passive-aggressive behavior. On the other hand, those who develop self-regulation take the time to process their emotions before responding. They use techniques such as deep breathing, counting to 10, or temporarily stepping away from a situation to gain perspective. By practicing self-regulation, individuals build resilience and improve their ability to handle stressful or emotional situations with composure. Empathy is a significant component of emotional intelligence that helps shift from reacting to responding. When individuals understand the emotions and perspectives of others, they are less likely to react impulsively and more likely to respond with thoughtfulness. Empathy allows people to consider why someone might be acting a certain way, reducing misunderstandings and fostering better communication. For instance, if a colleague speaks harshly in a meeting, an empathetic response would be to recognize that they might be experiencing stress rather than immediately reacting with hostility. Responding with kindness and patience can prevent conflicts and create a more positive environment. Active listening is an essential skill that enhances emotional intelligence and encourages thoughtful responses. Many people listen with the intent to reply rather than to understand, which often leads to reactive conversations. When individuals practice active listening, they focus on the speaker's words, tone, and body language without interrupting or forming a response prematurely. This approach allows them to process information fully before reacting, leading to more meaningful and constructive conversations. Active listening not only improves personal and professional relationships, but also helps in managing conflicts more effectively. Another critical element of emotional intelligence is motivation, particularly intrinsic motivation, which drives individuals to act based on their core values rather than external pressures or emotions. People who are intrinsically motivated tend to be more focused on long-term goals and are less likely to react impulsively to short-term frustrations. For example, an entrepreneur facing criticism about their business might react defensively if they lack emotional intelligence. However, someone with high motivation and self-awareness will recognize the feedback as an opportunity for growth rather than a personal attack. They will respond with gratitude for the insights and use them to make necessary improvements. Social skills, another key component of emotional intelligence, help individuals navigate interpersonal interactions with ease. Those with strong social skills know how to communicate effectively, manage conflicts, and build relationships based on mutual respect. In tense situations, they are able to de-escalate conflicts rather than fuel them with reactive behavior. For example, in a disagreement, a person with strong social skills will seek common ground, ask thoughtful questions, and respond calmly rather than reacting emotionally. This ability to manage social interactions positively contributes to professional success and personal fulfillment. Emotional intelligence also plays a crucial role in decision-making. Many decisions are influenced by emotions, whether consciously or unconsciously. Without emotional intelligence, people may make impulsive choices based on anger, fear, or frustration. However, those with high emotional intelligence take a step back and analyze situations objectively. They ask themselves whether their emotions are clouding their judgment and seek a balanced perspective before making a decision. This approach leads to better problem solving and more strategic thinking, as responses are based on rational analysis rather than fleeting emotion. Developing emotional intelligence requires consistent practice and self-reflection. One effective method is journaling, where individuals can reflect on their emotional reactions and identify patterns in their behavior. Writing down experiences and analyzing emotional responses helps in understanding triggers and finding ways to improve reactions in the future. Additionally, seeking feedback from trusted friends, colleagues, or mentors can provide valuable insights into how emotions influence behavior and how one can respond more effectively in challenging situations. Mindfulness is another powerful tool for enhancing emotional intelligence and training the mind to respond rather than react. By practicing mindfulness, individuals learn to observe their emotions without immediately acting on them. Meditation, breathing exercises, and mindful reflection all contribute to greater self-awareness and emotional control. When people are mindful, they recognize emotions as temporary states rather than absolute truths, allowing them to pause and respond with clarity and intention. Ultimately, emotional intelligence is a skill that enhances both personal and professional life. It allows individuals to manage emotions effectively, communicate thoughtfully, and navigate challenges with confidence. By cultivating self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, active listening, motivation, and social skills, people can shift from reactive behaviors to thoughtful responses. This transformation not only improves relationships and decision-making, but also leads to greater inner peace and emotional well-being. The ability to respond rather than react is a sign of maturity, wisdom, and emotional strength, making it a valuable skill in every aspect of life. Self-discipline is one of the most essential qualities for training the mind to respond rather than react. It is the ability to control impulses, regulate emotions, and make conscious decisions rather than acting on instinct or immediate feelings. People who lack self-discipline often find themselves reacting impulsively in challenging situations, saying or doing things they later regret. On the other hand, those who cultivate self-discipline can pause, think, and choose their responses wisely. Developing self-discipline requires patience, practice, and a commitment to personal growth, but the benefits extend to all areas of life, including relationships, work, and overall well-being. One of the primary reasons people react instead of responding is the lack of impulse control. When emotions such as anger, frustration, or anxiety arise, the natural tendency is to act immediately based on those emotions. This can lead to heated arguments, poor decisions, and unnecessary stress. However, self-discipline allows individuals to resist the urge to react impulsively. Instead of snapping back in anger when criticized, a disciplined person takes a moment to process their emotions and respond calmly. This ability to pause and reflect before acting is a crucial skill that prevents unnecessary conflicts and fosters better communication. Practicing delayed gratification is a powerful way to strengthen self-discipline. In many situations, people react impulsively because they seek immediate relief or satisfaction. Whether it's responding to an insult, indulging in unhealthy habits, or making hasty decisions, the lack of patience can lead to negative consequences. By learning to delay gratification, individuals develop the ability to endure temporary discomfort for a greater long-term benefit. For example, instead of reacting angrily to a rude comment, a disciplined person may choose to remain silent, take a deep breath, and address the issue later in a more productive manner. This self-control leads to better outcomes and reduces unnecessary stress. Self-awareness is a fundamental component of self-discipline. People who are aware of their emotional triggers can prepare themselves to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. Identifying what situations provoke strong emotions allows individuals to create strategies for managing their responses. For example, if someone knows that they tend to react defensively when receiving feedback, they can consciously remind themselves to listen with an open mind before responding. Developing this level of awareness requires introspection, reflection, and a willingness to recognize personal weaknesses. The more one understands their emotional patterns, the easier it becomes to exercise self-discipline. Setting clear goals and values also plays a significant role in developing self-discipline. When individuals have a strong sense of purpose, they are less likely to be swayed by momentary emotions or distractions. For example, a person who values professionalism will be less likely to react impulsively in a stressful work situation because they understand that their long-term success depends on maintaining composure. Similarly, someone who prioritizes healthy relationships will avoid reacting in anger or resentment because they recognize the importance of respectful communication. Having clear personal values serves as a guide for making disciplined choices in difficult moments. One effective technique for improving self-discipline is the practice of pausing before responding. When faced with a challenging situation, taking a few seconds to breathe and reflect can make a significant difference in how one reacts. This brief moment allows the rational part of the brain to engage, preventing emotional outbursts. Simple techniques such as counting to 10, taking a deep breath, or even walking away from the situation temporarily can create the space needed to choose a better response. Over time, this habit of pausing becomes a natural part of how one handles challenges. Meditation and mindfulness practices are also highly beneficial for building self-discipline. By training the mind to focus on the present moment, individuals learn to observe their thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them. Mindfulness teaches that emotions are temporary and that they do not have to dictate actions. Regular meditation helps strengthen the ability to stay calm under pressure, resist impulsive reactions, and respond with clarity and intention. Even a few minutes of meditation each day can lead to noticeable improvements in self-discipline and emotional regulation. Another important aspect of self-discipline is learning to accept discomfort. Many people react impulsively because they seek to avoid discomfort or pain, whether emotional or physical. However, discomfort is a natural part of life, and learning to tolerate it is essential for developing self-control. For example, in an argument, it may feel uncomfortable to remain silent and listen instead of reacting defensively. However, Enduring that discomfort can lead to a more meaningful conversation and a better resolution. The more individuals train themselves to sit with discomfort rather than escape it through reactive behaviors, the stronger their self-discipline becomes. Accountability is another key factor in building self-discipline. Holding oneself accountable for one's actions and decisions reinforces the importance of thoughtful responses. Seeking accountability from trusted friends, mentors, or coaches can also be helpful in maintaining discipline. When others provide feedback and guidance, it serves as a reminder to stay committed to responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Physical well-being also influences self-discipline and the ability to respond rather than react. A well-rested, healthy body supports a strong mind. Sleep deprivation, poor nutrition, and lack of exercise can weaken self-control, making it harder to resist emotional impulses. Taking care of the body through regular exercise, proper nutrition, and sufficient rest enhances mental clarity and emotional stability. When individuals feel physically strong and energized, they are better equipped to manage stress and make disciplined choices in challenging situations. Developing self-discipline is a lifelong practice that requires consistent effort and commitment. It involves making small, intentional choices every day that reinforce the habit of responding rather than reacting. Over time, these choices become second nature, leading to greater emotional balance, improved relationships, and overall personal growth. The ability to exercise self-discipline in moments of stress or conflict is a powerful skill that can transform one's life. By cultivating self-discipline, individuals gain greater control over their emotions, make wiser decisions, and create a more peaceful and fulfilling existence. Patience is a crucial quality when training the mind to respond rather than react. In a world that demands instant gratification and quick decisions, many people struggle with the ability to pause and reflect before taking action. However, patience allows individuals to take a step back, assess situations carefully, and choose the best possible response instead of reacting impulsively. Developing patience requires practice, self-awareness, and a willingness to accept that not everything requires an immediate reaction. Cultivating this ability leads to better decision-making, stronger relationships, and greater emotional resilience. One of the main reasons people react instead of responding is their tendency to seek immediate resolution. When faced with a stressful situation, their instinct is to react quickly in an attempt to regain control. However, quick reactions are often driven by emotions such as anger, frustration, or fear, which can lead to regrettable decisions. Patience, on the other hand, creates space between a stimulus and a response, allowing the mind to process information more clearly. For example, if someone says something hurtful, an immediate reaction might be to respond defensively or with anger. However, a patient person takes a moment to consider the situation, recognizing that reacting emotionally may not be the best approach. By giving themselves time to reflect, they can respond in a way that de-escalates tension and promotes understanding. Practicing patience also enhances emotional intelligence, which is essential for responding rather than reacting. Emotional intelligence involves understanding and managing emotions both in oneself and others. A patient person is more likely to recognize their emotional triggers and take steps to regulate their responses. For example, if a coworker is being difficult, an impatient reaction might be to argue or express frustration. However, a patient response involves taking a deep breath, analyzing the situation, and choosing words carefully. This ability to manage emotions leads to healthier interactions and prevents unnecessary conflicts. One effective way to develop patience is through mindfulness and deep breathing exercises. When people are impatient, their body often responds with increased heart rate, shallow breathing, and tension. By practicing slow, deep breaths, individuals can calm their nervous system and create a sense of control over their emotions. A simple breathing technique such as inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, and exhaling for 4 seconds can help in moments of stress. This small pause gives the mind a chance to reset, reducing the likelihood of impulsive reactions. Over time, integrating mindfulness into daily life helps cultivate a habit of patience, making it easier to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. Another important aspect of patience is learning to accept that not everything requires immediate resolution. Many people struggle with the discomfort of uncertainty and feel compelled to react quickly in order to eliminate that discomfort. However, Some situations require time to unfold naturally. For example, when facing a disagreement, an impatient reaction might be to demand an immediate resolution, whereas a patient approach would involve allowing both parties time to cool down and reflect before discussing the issue. Recognizing that some problems take time to resolve helps reduce stress and prevents unnecessary conflicts. Patience also plays a significant role in effective communication. Many misunderstandings occur because people listen with the intent to reply rather than to understand. Instead of reacting immediately, patient individuals take the time to listen carefully, ensuring they fully grasp what is being said before responding. This ability to listen attentively improves relationships by fostering mutual respect and trust. When people feel heard and understood, they are more likely to respond in a calm and constructive manner, creating a more positive and cooperative environment. Building patience also involves changing one's perspective on challenges and setbacks. Many people react negatively to obstacles because they perceive them as frustrating. However, patient individuals view challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. Instead of reacting with frustration when things do not go as planned, they take a step back, analyze the situation, and look for solutions. This mindset shift helps build resilience, making it easier to handle difficulties with composure and a problem-solving approach. Another way to develop patience is by practicing delayed gratification. In today's fast-paced world, people are accustomed to getting what they want immediately, whether it's information, entertainment, or material goods. However, learning to wait and work toward long-term goals strengthens the ability to be patient in other areas of life. For example, someone who is trying to develop a new skill might feel frustrated by slow progress and be tempted to give up. However, practicing patience allows them to appreciate the process and stay committed to their goals, knowing that success takes time. This ability to delay gratification also helps in handling emotional responses. As individuals learn that not every situation requires an instant reaction, patience is particularly important in leadership and decision-making. Effective leaders do not make hasty decisions based on temporary emotions. Instead, they take the time to gather information, consider different perspectives, and make thoughtful choices. By exercising patience, leaders can respond strategically rather than reacting impulsively, leading to better outcomes for both themselves and those around them. Whether in professional settings or personal relationships, the ability to remain calm under pressure and think before acting is a valuable skill. Practicing patience also leads to a greater sense of inner peace and well-being. Constantly reacting to situations with impatience and frustration can lead to chronic stress and anxiety. On the other hand, patient individuals experience lower stress levels because they do not feel the need to control or rush every situation. They are able to accept delays, setbacks, and inconveniences without becoming overwhelmed, leading to a more balanced and peaceful state of mind. Developing patience requires consistent effort and self-awareness. It is not something that happens overnight, but with practice, it becomes a natural part of how one interacts with the world. Small changes, such as pausing before speaking, practicing mindful breathing, or embracing delayed gratification, contribute to a more patient and thoughtful mindset. Over time, these habits lead to improved relationships, better decision-making, and a greater sense of emotional control. The ability to be patient transforms the way individuals handle challenges, conflicts, and interactions. By cultivating patience, people can shift from reacting impulsively to responding with intention and wisdom. This change not only benefits personal and professional relationships, but also enhances overall mental and emotional well-being. A patient approach to life fosters resilience, deeper connections, and a sense of calm, allowing individuals to navigate even the most difficult situations with grace and confidence. Mindfulness is a powerful tool that helps individuals train their minds to respond rather than react. In a fast-paced world where stress, emotions, and external pressures often dictate behavior, mindfulness allows people to pause, observe, and choose their responses consciously. It is the practice of being fully present in the moment, aware of thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without immediate judgment. By cultivating mindfulness, individuals gain greater control over their reactions, leading to more thoughtful decisions, healthier relationships, and overall emotional balance. One of the primary reasons people react impulsively is because they operate on autopilot. allowing emotions and ingrained habits to take control. When someone is unaware of their thoughts and emotions, they are more likely to react based on conditioned responses rather than intentional choices. Mindfulness disrupts this automatic pattern by bringing attention to the present moment. For example, if a person receives criticism at work, their habitual reaction might be defensiveness or frustration. However, a mindful individual recognizes the initial emotional response without immediately acting on it. Instead of reacting negatively, they take a moment to assess the situation, acknowledge their emotions, and choose a response that aligns with their long-term goals. A key aspect of mindfulness is the ability to observe thoughts and emotions without becoming attached to them. Often, reactions stem from the belief that every emotion requires an immediate action. However, mindfulness teaches that emotions are temporary and do not define reality. By observing emotions with curiosity rather than judgment, individuals can create space between feeling and action. For example, if someone cuts them off in traffic, an automatic reaction might be anger or frustration. But with mindfulness, they can acknowledge their irritation without letting it dictate their response. Instead of honking aggressively or yelling, they might choose to let it go, recognizing that reacting negatively will not improve the situation. Breathing techniques are a fundamental practice in mindfulness that help regulate emotions and prevent impulsive reactions. When people experience stress or strong emotions, their breathing often becomes shallow and rapid, signaling the body's fight or flight response. Mindful breathing counteracts this by slowing down the breath, calming the nervous system, and allowing the mind to regain clarity. A simple technique such as inhaling deeply for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, and exhaling for 4 seconds can help in moments of frustration or anxiety. By focusing on the breath, individuals anchor themselves in the present moment, reducing the likelihood of reacting impulsively. Another important component of mindfulness is body awareness. Emotions often manifest physically before they are consciously recognized. For example, anger may cause muscle tension, a clenched jaw, or a racing heart. Mindfulness helps individuals tune into these physical sensations, providing an early warning sign before emotions escalate into reactions. By recognizing physical cues, they can take proactive steps to manage their emotions, such as stretching, deep breathing, or momentarily stepping away from a stressful situation. This self-awareness prevents small irritations from spiraling into major conflicts. Mindfulness also enhances active listening, which is essential for responding thoughtfully in conversations. Many people listen with the intention of replying rather than truly understanding the other person. This often leads to reactive responses based on assumptions rather than the actual message being conveyed. Mindful listening involves giving full attention to the speaker, observing their tone and body language, and pausing before responding. This practice reduces misunderstandings and allows for more meaningful, constructive discussions. By listening with presence and openness, individuals can respond with empathy and clarity rather than reacting defensively or impulsively. Another powerful benefit of mindfulness is its ability to reduce stress and increase emotional resilience. When people are caught up in the past or future, they experience unnecessary anxiety and pressure, which can lead to reactive behavior. Mindfulness grounds them in the present, helping them approach situations with a calm and composed mindset. For instance, instead of stressing over an upcoming deadline and reacting with panic, a mindful person focuses on taking one step at a time, reducing overwhelm and improving productivity. This ability to remain present allows individuals to navigate challenges with greater ease and effectiveness. Mindfulness also plays a crucial role in conflict resolution. Many conflicts escalate because individuals react emotionally without considering the full context. When someone feels attacked, their instinct may be to retaliate or shut down. However, mindfulness encourages a pause, creating space for reflection before responding. This pause allows individuals to evaluate the situation objectively, consider the other person's perspective, and choose a response that fosters understanding rather than further conflict. By responding mindfully, they contribute to more peaceful interactions and stronger relationships. Practicing gratitude is another mindfulness technique that shifts focus away from negative reactions. When individuals cultivate an attitude of gratitude, they become more aware of the positives in their lives rather than dwelling on frustrations. This shift in perspective reduces the tendency to react negatively to minor inconveniences. For example, instead of reacting with impatience when stuck in traffic, a mindful person might use the time to appreciate a favorite song on the radio or reflect on positive aspects of their day. By focusing on gratitude, individuals naturally develop a more balanced and composed approach to challenges. Meditation is a structured mindfulness practice that strengthens the ability to respond rather than react. Regular meditation trains the mind to observe thoughts without attachment, reducing the power of impulsive reactions. Even a few minutes of meditation each day can improve focus, emotional regulation, and self-awareness. Guided meditation, body scans, or simply sitting in silence while observing the breath are effective ways to incorporate mindfulness into daily life. Over time, these practices create a mental buffer, allowing individuals to approach situations with clarity and patience. Developing mindfulness requires consistency and practice, but the benefits extend to all areas of life. It enhances decision-making, improves relationships, and fosters emotional well-being. By cultivating mindfulness, individuals gain greater control over their thoughts and emotions, allowing them to choose responses that align with their values and long-term goals. The ability to pause, reflect, and respond with intention rather than react impulsively is a skill that leads to a more fulfilling and harmonious life. Through mindfulness, people can navigate life's challenges with grace, resilience, and a sense of inner peace.